Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and today is day 20 of the Countdown to Christmas card series. So I'm just showing you some of the products that I'm going to be using to put together this card. The theme for today was Funfold, and so I opted to go with a waterfall card. You can do these without any dies, and that's what I'm going to show you here today. I will put the measurements down below. I'll try to go through some of them as I do this, but in case I miss some. So I'm going to take this strip, which is 9 by 1 7/8, and we're going to score it at 2, 2 3/4, 3 1/4, and 4 1/4. This is going to give us the strip that you pull in order to make the waterfall and for all of our little squares to be adhered to. Now I left in some of my mistakes in this card because it didn't go together as well as I wanted it to the first time, but it was my fault, and I will point those out as I go of which areas, what things I would do differently if I was doing this again. So this is a 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 square, and you're going to need 4 of those. And so this is where you're going to put your little images of what you want to be in your waterfall. So I opted to use these really cute snowmen from a Simon Says stamp set that I showed you in the beginning. And so I'm just going to take 4 snowmen and stamp them down using the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. I opted not to color them. I left them just with the black stamping. You could definitely take the time and color them in, but I thought that I would leave them this way. So I'm going to stamp the rest of these, and then I will adhere those to the teal 2x2 squares with just some liquid glue. So while I'm doing that, I just wanted to talk to you about this series. This is 25 projects for Christmas. We have been, I can't believe that we're on day 20. We've been bringing 2 videos a week on Mondays and Fridays. And by we, I have joined Michele from Scrap Secrets. This is her holiday card series. And I have joined her this year for all 25 projects. Last year I did 1 and really enjoyed it. So she asked me to join her this year for all of them. And so we've had different themes and techniques or stamp sets that we have done. And we have 5 more projects after this one to bring you. So I'm looking forward to those. We still have fun things planned. There are giveaways. Michele is creeping ever closer to 750. So if she reaches 750 subscribers, she's going to add another giveaway. So at the end of this video, I will link in the end screen the playlist for this entire series, and that will include both mine and Michele's videos. For each of us, we have an intro video, which kind of goes over the basics of the giveaway and what you need to do and how we're going to select those. We are going to get together shortly to determine how long we'll leave comments open and when we're going to draw the winners for the giveaways. So I'm currently giving away a gift card, and then I did reach 800 subscribers, so I am going to do an additional giveaway, which I think will be actual product that I have. Some of it may be gently used, but I think I have some brand new stuff in my craft room that I have to give away. I'm not fully decided yet, or if I'll just do 2 gift cards. It will depend on how it goes. But this has been a lot of fun, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as we're enjoying putting together the content for you. So back to the card. This is an A2 size card panel, card base. Why do I always say panel? I don't know. Anyway, and this is some pattern paper from my stash. This looks like it might be from a Simon Says stamp card kit. I just really like the colors, and it matched my cardstock really well. So that is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel, and I just glued that down with some liquid glue. This is a 3/4 inch by 5 1/4 strip, and I'm putting glue on one end of it and then about halfway on the other side. Excuse me. This is so you can slide that piece to the right underneath it. So I'm just going to line that up, and this is what's going to hold that so we can make our sliding mechanism. Then I'm going to take this punch, which is old and retired from Stampin' Up, but it gives you kind of this neat label end. So I'm just going to do that to give it a little decoration. You definitely don't need to do this part. This is where I mess up a little bit. When you're adhering your squares, start from the bottom. I went all willy-nilly and started adding adhesive everywhere. I started at the top, and I didn't want to do that. You really want to start at the bottom square where you have the biggest square right there, as you can see at the very bottom. That's where I should have started adhering my panels, but I don't know what I was doing here. I got all excited about doing it, and then I put this one down, which is the third one, instead of doing what would be the fourth one in a row. So I don't do as I do as I say. Start at the bottom and then work your way back up to the top. And you're just going to be lining your squares underneath those score marks so that they'll move freely. So, and then after all of that, I had to turn around and lift them all so I could put the fourth one on, which wouldn't have been much of a challenge if I'd have just started with that one. So it does matter, I believe. I think it would flow better if I had done it the correct way. So once I get these all adhered, the other thing I recommend is when you're lining this up and going to add, because you're going to add a strip of adhesive to that 3/4 inch strip. I added it a little bit high. I would put it more towards the bottom so that it will sit nicely and work better. I didn't like the way, I thought this was too long, so I repunched it. In the end, I do end up tearing this apart and redoing that entire strip. I take all of my stamped elements, all those squares off. I redo that strip. That was the 9 inch by 1 7/8. I end up redoing it so that it was bugging me. One, the way I punched the end of it was all wonky. And then see here, I popped it open trying to pull it. And I think it's the way I put it together originally that was making this more difficult. So I struggled with it for a minute, but then decided to redo that strip because I'm trying to figure out right here what I had done wrong. And I had put the tape down lower, which was what I was showing you there, so then it worked better. But I just didn't like the aesthetics of the way I had punched the end, so I ended up taking it apart and redoing it because, those things make me crazy. So I am going to stamp a sentiment on this long strip because you could hide, it could be a bigger sentiment that you can use in here, but I decided to go with the smaller one, which I think it says ready for a hug. And so, which I thought was really cute. It was in that same stamp set. So I'm just going to use a block, which is also very brave, and use that black ink to stamp that down. And then I will also stamp the sentiment Season of Love on a scrap piece of white cardstock because that's going to be the sentiment for the front of my card. So this is really easy. You could do this with pictures. If you had small pictures of your kids and you wanted to do a Christmas card this way, that would be a really cute way to do that. Trying to think of other things. You could do sentiments on the squares. You don't have to do all images. You kind of, whatever, you can think of, what you can imagine. You could do like a little scene if you had matching stamps. You could do, like it continues on, like the stamp, the character's doing one thing in the top and then the next one they're doing a little something else. You could make like a little movie strip with it. You could do that as well. So I'm just going to adhere this sentiment strip or kind of rectangle here using liquid glue off to the side. And then, like I said, I will tear this down. I can't remember if I left it in to show you that I redid all of it or if I just come back and show you the finished product that I fixed it all and show you that it works. But I absolutely love how this turned out. So yes, I've taken it all apart. And now I'm going to put it back together the correct way. So I have it all reattached and I started at the bottom like I should have. And then I will put the adhesive strip more towards the bottom of that 3/4 inch strip that's going across my card, which I also think helps make this flow better. So I don't know if that's helpful to you to see, little mistakes that are made and how to fix them or different ways to go about that. I appreciate it when crafters will show that, so not everything is always hunky-dory and perfect when they're doing it. But if you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to leave them for me down below. If you have any suggestions of content that you'd like to see in 2024, feel free to leave me that as well. And I hope you'll check out Michelle's video. I will have her channel linked down below. And as always, I hope that you have a great day.